Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm here with Max LaMont. He's just put out his newest single titled Another Love, and I seriously have not been able to turn it off. I sincerely mean that. Max, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm great, no problem. Oh my gosh, this feels great. I mean, because I wrote this song like a year ago, so like putting it out today is amazing.
What took so long, man? You could have been dancing a year ago.
Yeah. Well, planning, and then you have those plans, and then there's a pandemic, and it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
that could definitely be it. Could definitely be it. Well, I gotta say, and I'm gonna say it a few times, I love the song. It has legitimately put me in a great mood as I've been listening all day through. So thank you for making it.
oh, no problem.
The first, yeah, man, the first thing I'd really love to talk about here is if we could get a breakdown behind the lyrics and sort of the overarching message behind the song.
Okay, the lyrics.
Hit it.
Yeah, definitely. I guess if you read the lyrics without hearing the music, you would think this is a super sad song.
Yeah, a little
But
bit.
yeah, it's the lyrics for the song just a vague overview or backstory is like basically kind of had a showmance going on because I do
Okay,
theater and
nice.
just talking to this girl, and it's like I guess you can apply this to any situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship or a relationship at all, but
Sure.
like you have things that are going well in life and you think like, oh wow, this is I could get used to this, and kind of sometimes it might be in the back of your mind like maybe this is too good to be true, and then exactly what you're expecting happens. And that's definitely the situation that inspired this song.
I see what
So
you're saying.
yeah, definitely it starts off with star-crossed lovers in the air of the night, a losing game I left upon the floor, but go figure, the saint and the sinner claim a heart of stone, I find myself alone. So when I say the saint and the sinner,
Mhm.
it's like you're always going to think, if you're self, you're going to think you're in the right. So it's like,
Right.
who's the saint, who's the sinner in this situation? And
Sure.
then as soon as you cut yourself off and you claim a heart of stone, you find yourself alone within that situation.
I
So
mean, the lyrics are strong. The thing is, there seems to be an influx of songs these days that have this really like upbeat, uplifting, vibrant sound to it. And then once you look past the actual music itself, it's like these sort of not necessarily downer lyrics, but just like personal experiences that may have been
yeah,
hard hitting to the person. So I think that's kind of just the way that the music industry is going. It's like good for you for being open and honest and telling your story, but also you're going to hit those types of people that don't really care what you're saying and more just want to like groove out to the
right,
song.
right,
So you got both sides going. Um,
yeah.
I also really want to talk about the production here because the song sounds amazing. For everyone listening, I would highly recommend listening on a nice pair of headphones or a sound system because there's a lot of subtleties you might miss out on. So, as far as the production goes, did you have any outside help? Was this you making this? How did it all come together?
This was all me, which is another reason why it
Damn.
feels so good.
Okay.
Yeah, not besides the horns, there's that little
Sure.
horn
Sure.
section. I
Hmm.
did get a friend of mine from the school I went to here, University of North Carolina School of the Arts.
Okay.
I went there as a high schooler, and I just met tons and tons of people who are just outrageously talented. So when I was like writing the song, I was like, I want some horns, but I don't want to do like fake horns. So
Yeah. Of course. Of
yeah,
course.
that's the only thing I outsourced for. But I mean, mixing, mastering, every bit of the synths and all that, I did all of that.
Did it all happen in this room?
It all happened in
This is
this
the
very room.
studio. This is the home
Yeah,
studio. Hell yeah,
yeah. I
that's
don't know if you
awesome.
could see the bass is back there, and
I see it. I see it hiding in the corner. That's awesome, man. So would you consider yourself like a instrumentalist as far as like everything else on the track went, or just in general?
uh, yeah, definitely. In general, I consider myself a instrumentalist.
Sure, sure.
And I say vocals first. Definitely, I count my voice as an instrument. Most like
It is. It totally is.
like yeah, taking care of your body, making sure that you're kind of always ready to make it happen is definitely a thing. You count yourself as an instrument.
Yeah, man, you gotta be. I mean, there's people that make music and they kind of just sing along. There's no passion or love into it, but I wouldn't consider those people using their voice as an instrument. This situation, though, is you're using the wide spectrum of it. So I congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
So this is your second single release of the year, and I don't want to look too far forward into the future, but I also am hoping that there's more on the way. Are you always actively creating and putting things in the bank to release in the future?
Always, always, always. I guess I can't give too much out because
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
going to be like,
Say what you got to say.
yeah, this is definitely the beginning. That's what I'm gonna say.
Hell yeah.
Uh, I used to be in a duo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we released our first and only album, admittedly, in 2019,
Okay.
and I haven't put anything out since then. That hasn't been collaborative. But that came out so long ago, and I've just been writing these songs and putting them together, saying like, okay, I don't know when the time is, but I'm gonna release these when it feels right. And I was like, I think summer 21, that feels right. So
It's very summery music. So even though, it's been a year or so, I think you're releasing it at the right time as far as the weather goes. Because I
yeah,
don't know where you're at right now, but it is hot as hell where I'm at. So this is like get out there music and just kind of vibe and
yeah.
that type of stuff. Um, Without saying too much, are you going to be looking to experiment in sound, or do you think you've kind of found your lane of where you're
Oh, definitely experimenting because I listen to everything. And then I feel like a lot of people say it, they'll be like, oh man, I listen to everything, bro. I'm like, no,
at?
they don't. They just listen to their one genre
They
and
just want to sound interesting.
yeah. But I kid you not, I listen to absolutely everything. Again, the school I went to, it was a conservatory, so it's all like
Oh,
classical music. So I'm,
okay.
learning Handel, Bach, Mozart, that kind of stuff, Grieg. And but like the same day I would be kind of learning repertoire, I would go back and listen to some Nirvana or something crazy like
Yeah.
that. And then I listen to Michael Jackson. I've listened to Michael Jackson my
Oh
entire
yeah, you
life.
just got to have that on hand. I've got
Yeah.
it sitting right over there in the corner of
Um,
my room too. Of
and I love Billie Eilish. Like,
course, of course.
yeah, I think everything she and Phineas do are just like, it's incredible. So I mean, literally
Oh, I
everything
know.
pop,
No,
jazz.
quite the duo, I gotta say. I'm actually really happy you sort of turned the conversation this way. I want to hear about your musical inspirations growing up and what you were listening to back then and what has sort of shaped the sound that you're making today.
Well, again, listening to Michael Jackson
Of
and
course.
a whole bunch of like soul, blues,
Mhm.
uh, inspirations and trailblazers,
Sure,
from that
sure.
time. I always grew up listening to them, and I mean, I kid you not, I kept all of Michael Jackson and Prince, Stevie Wonder. I kept all their records, every single one they released.
Gotta have them.
I just kept it on repeat, and I listened and just dissected the music. And I mean, I was kind of an odd child, honestly. Like I would be so deep into the music, like everyone else would be like, man, I just love that song, and I'd be like, yeah, I love the part when it does da, 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 and then I would go like so in depth, and
Sure,
they'd be like,
sure.
okay, I don't know what you're talking about. It's
I
just a
just
song.
like that, okay? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's too funny. So, okay, so you've obviously been involved in music for quite a while now. It sounds like it's been a massive part of your upbringing. I completely understand that.
Definitely.
What I want to know though, was there a specific album in your life that you listened to that sort of took over you so much as a person that you decided I need to make music for myself? I need to sort of emulate this in a way and put my own voice out there.
Woo. I don't know if it's just one.
It doesn't have to be. There are no rules here. It could be a few.
Okay, I'm gonna start with Phil Collins. It might be a little obscure, but everybody knows do 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 do.
Of
I
course.
can feel it coming in the air. Like everybody
Yeah,
knows that.
yeah.
But it's the album that song is on. face value, and I mean it's
It's an
just,
amazing album.
yeah, it's just ridiculous. He has so much going on within the music, and it's just so smooth. Um, and this is gonna sound weird, but like any Disney music,
Oh
is
yeah,
it's
man.
good. I mean, oh my gosh, it
Think
definitely
about think about how many people don't know that they like Phil Collins but like Tarzan, the soundtrack.
right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even myself as a child, like I feel like we're probably similar in age, but like listening and watching that movie and being inspired by that, and yeah, dude, Disney soundtracks 100% a real
Yeah,
inspiration.
I listen to Disney soundtracks all the time. I still do. Not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
lie.
of course, of
Yeah,
course.
I
If it
mean,
comes up in the shuffle, I'm not skipping it. Let's just
yes,
say that
incredible.
much. That's
Um,
awesome.
um, I know most people would say Thriller, but
Yeah,
I have to say Bad by Michael Jackson was
cool.
definitely one, like, it's just ridiculous. There's a whole bunch of albums that I could say it's really not just one. Jagged Little
Of
Pill
course.
by Alanis Morissette. I
Hey, that's a
listen
good
to
one.
it, I say 10 times a year. I mean, so
Okay,
good.
okay. I love that. All right, so I want to hear a little bit more about your process as a musician. How does a song start for you? Does it start with a lyric that you may have jotted down in your phone, or you heard a guitar riff somewhere, or does it just sort of come out of thin air?
Sometimes it's different every time. I would say,
Okay,
like, it starts lyrically the least, if that makes sense. So like
sure.
it's rarely lyrics first.
Okay,
I'll hear something that, and I mean like out of thin air, it might hear something way off in the distance. You don't even know what it is. And
sure.
I'll hear a low pitch and I'll be like, oh, that sounded pretty good. And then I'll do like gibberish on my phone. I have voice
Yeah.
memos and just singing dabba doo bop bop. And then to me, and this might sound a little cheesy or whatever, but it's true to me. I feel like melodies and music, what you hear in your head, that already has a topic, a story. So
Yeah.
like when I hear something, I'm like, okay, I already know what I want this to be about. So within this topic that I already have in my head, with the story that I feel like the music is already telling, what lyrics can I put to that?
Okay.
And then that's kind of how the lyrics form for me.
Gotcha. So it seems like it's a pretty organic way of making music. It's not just you sitting down and you're like, gonna make a song today. It's just like pull from here, pull from there, pull from there, and like eventually you have a song.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
like that
never just
though.
sit
It's not like you have a studio rushing you to make things either, and just okay, we need 10 songs by Sunday. Like
Yeah,
that's how real good music comes. Like you can't rush greatness. You can't rush art.
yeah. I
I
firmly
love
believe
that.
in that. Yeah.
Is there a specific thing in sort of your life of music and life of artistry that you enjoy the most about being an artist?
Personally, as much as it is stressful and challenging,
Sure.
I definitely love, right now kind of having the control over everything,
Yeah.
and, just knowing that I can pick up the bass and go ahead and produce the song. And again, it's not easy by any means, but I
No.
know that what I hear in my head is exactly what I can execute, and I don't have to outsource for that. And
Sure.
I spent the time learning the skill and technique, to make sure that what I have in my head is exactly what I put out.
It feels like you have a community of people, especially going to an art school, that you can not necessarily rely on, but sort of pick and choose and say, hey, like you would be great in this spot and bring them in. I think that gives you the advantage as a solo artist as opposed to being in a duo where you have to share ideas and get the okay. Like it really does give you the freedom.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that's a big thing. It was also like kind of stepping out of my comfort zone, because it's like,
Yeah,
all right, there's no one to like fall back on. It's not like, oh, we're gonna do this harmony and I can like kind of fall behind. I don't have to nail each take, just as long as I'm singing the notes, like this is me putting myself out there with lyrics that are meaningful to me. It's all
totally.
me.
Your name's on this. The criticism is coming directly
Yep.
back to you. So I don't, yeah, I get it. I get it. Is there an opportunity for people in your area to potentially see you tour or do any local shows upcoming next?
Oh my
Sincere.
gosh.
Is that even something that you'd like to do?
It is something that I would like to do
Okay.
heavily. And it's really all about getting the right band. That's another thing
Fair.
about like being solo and producing all the stuff. It's like
Yeah.
you really got to find the people who can learn it all and make
Totally.
sure
Can't be
will
just
put on
anyone.
put on a phenomenal show.
Nice. Okay, so hypothetically speaking, you have, I think, three officially released songs under your solo name out so far. Which of those songs are you playing, given the opportunity to play one song to really wow the crowd?
Whew. Mm. It's gonna have to. It's gonna have to be Another Love, definitely.
Okay.
If it was big, it would be Another
Yeah.
Love. But like I don't know if it's like a small little coffee shop.
Yeah, the setting certainly matters.
I
That's
think I
true.
would do my song Every Step of the Way that I wrote with my friend Leslie, who I we went to school together. She got accepted as well,
Oh, nice.
but we actually met like 2 years beforehand. And so we've been
Yeah.
friends like forever. And I write songs with her occasionally, and she
Okay.
just kind of sent me that one. And I was like, dude, like we gotta make this happen.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Creatives being creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So you have named some of my favorite artists of all time, and it sounds like we have a pretty similar love for music. I want to know though, if you had to narrow it down to one person, I guess either dead or alive, to pick a dream collaboration with, who would that person be?
Ooh. Oh, you said dead or alive.
Dead or alive?
Alive, I'm gonna have to go with Charlie Puth.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah, and I know I didn't even mention him,
that's
but
okay.
yeah,
Why?
he's so in tune with the music,
Okay,
and I feel like we're very similar. So I feel like we would just
sure.
kind of bounce ideas off of each other and
All
just.
right.
I feel like we could make a whole EP together. Like I would love to
Get
meet
the
Charlie
word
Puth.
out. Start tweeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um. Dead. I'm not sure. I want to say Michael Jackson, but I feel like I'd be too intimidated. So,
That would be, oh,
mm,
I think, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I never met the guy, but I feel like he'd be the type of person to kind of take over. It's
yeah,
like, I mean, watching his like perfectionism and like, all right, well, let's tweak it this way, let's tweak it that way, let's do
yeah,
this, do this, and you're like, oh, okay, you just kind of do your thing,
yeah.
and
Just do your thing.
just
It's
put
all right.
just put my name on it like a group project at the end, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are some solid answers though. I've obviously listened to Charlie Puth, maybe not extensively, maybe not as much as I should. I feel like that's maybe an artist that I should get into and really
He has some
check out
incredible
more.
music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the recommendation.
Of course.
So we are more than halfway through this year at this point, which is wild.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to know, aside from the music, how are you working on yourself personally? What are some personal goals that you set for yourself for the rest of this year?
Um, I want it to be healthier. That was definitely a goal at the top of the
Always.
year. And it's not necessarily like I had something going on with me, but it was just
Sure,
like,
sure. Yeah. No, we're always striving to be a little bit healthier. I get
yeah, it's like you started staying in the house more. So it's like, oh, so I don't have to jump out of bed and start
that.
getting ready and stuff like that. But I started, I wanted to just kind of wake up early and start going on my morning walks, which turned into morning runs
There you
and
go.
stuff like that. Make sure I was stretching before those walks and runs. That's why I even got like the watch just to make sure I was like
Yeah,
staying
man.
on top of things. And yeah, so being more on top of my health was definitely a big goal, and I stayed on it pretty much.
Yeah,
So
dude, it's not a sprint. It's
yeah,
you go in waves, you make it work, and trust will be good.
yeah.
All right, so because we are a music blog and we're always trying to recommend independent artists to the world, I want to know what you've been listening to. If there's any friends of yours that are making music that you could shout out, kind of help get their name out there. What's going on in your listening days?
Um, listening. Oh my gosh, I've been listening to a lot of Jacob Collier.
Okay,
Yeah,
solid. He's
he's
great.
yeah, just absolutely ridiculous. I've just been listening to his stuff and kind of dissecting it because I'm like, you can't, as a musician, I feel like you can't listen to his stuff and be like, you can't walk away not being like, so how can I be better? Because his stuff
Exactly.
is so good.
It's pretty
Um,
demoralizing listening to people sometimes. It's just like, damn, all right, I got a
gosh,
beat
gotta
for
practice
that.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a cousin. He's ridiculous. He's a hip hop artist,
Okay.
and his name is Ray Emanuel.
Nice.
He's absolutely ridiculous. He's working on his stuff. He's actually out in LA,
All
just
right.
working on his album that he wants to release either later this year, he said, or top of next year. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be putting all that out there, but
I'm sure he doesn't mind the press.
you wouldn't mind, you know,
I'm sure it's all. Yeah, it's all.
not leaking a song.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not.
So yeah,
Awesome,
he's
man.
incredible.
Cool. All right. Well, I've got one more question for you, and it's how I sort of like to wrap this up. I want to know for the person that is going to discover you from this, and for the person that is going to dive into your music for the first time, what is an opening message that you would like to pass off to them?
I think my opening message would be
Yes.
that my music is always beyond me. I never see it as something that I do for myself. I always think every time I finish a song or I start writing something, say how can this inspire someone else, and how can my story with doing just about everything from top to bottom myself, how can that inspire you know the people who say, oh, I want to do this, but I don't have this, or I don't know how to make it work. You find a way. And I feel like inspiring people with my music and making sure that it hits someone the right way each time is a big part of it. It's never just, oh, it's just what I like. I always want it to be beyond myself.
I love that. That's beautiful. You've convinced me. I'm in. I'm in forever. Um, Max, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. You are
Oh,
awesome. I am
oh my
so happy
gosh.
that we can make this work on short notice. And yeah, man, for everyone else out there, Another Love is out. Give it a listen, check it out, follow him on all the socials. We'll have it linked below. And yeah, man, I sincerely thank you for your time, and we'll be speaking soon.
Thank you so much. This was
Dude,
awesome.
you're so welcome. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Keep making amazing things.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. See ya.
Bye bye.